stop verbally assaulting a woman in the street.
Pressing them in the corner. Hey, dude, where are we at? I talked to you, buddy. I talked to you, animal abuser helper.
So in Practical Jokers, Joe Gatto, he was defending a woman who was being told, and I don't even know how to say this, but it was an anti-fur rant that someone was kind of calling her on what she was wearing. And then Joe intervened. So we have video, we're going to watch it, but let's just talk for a second about where we're at with Impractical Jokers. Joe announced, unfortunately, that he was leaving the show, and all of our hearts across the world broke all at once.
Yes, for sure.
But notably, Joe's been pretty good about his social media, especially on TikTok. I'm like, look at this guy. I love it when people are all about building their brand. So, anyway, love the show.
He's on tour right now, too.
He's
doing his comedy tour. So, yeah, you can definitely catch him. But I know everybody wants to see all four of them. But he was definitely... He is so funny. Like it is crazy. I can't even tell you how many times I've just been in tears over that show. So
Joe, he's the knight in shining armor, according to TMZ. All right, so there was a woman who was being berated over her fur coat, and he's on camera. We see him come in frame, and then he comes to her defense and calls, or she's called, a piece of bleep.
No, he's saying Joe's telling the guy to stop being a piece of shit.
Okay, I was like, did he say that? Or, okay,
Yeah.
got it. All right, so there's a heated exchange, and now, there's a little backlash because, there's two sides of this, right? So from your harming animals argument, which I think is where the berating was coming from. Sure. But let's watch the footage so we can be fair with our judgments and analysis.
How many beaver died for that jacket?
Well, you know what? I have a little story for you.
I'm sure you would never kill them, right? You would never skin them for a jacket? Why do you feel beaver don't deserve the compassion that your companion canines do?
Yeah, so I think he's saying, comparing with a beaver with a dog. She's like, I would never skin a dog. And he goes, essentially, you're a hypocrite.
Actually, it was in the bayou when the mink thing was the problem. And they said that
every fur wearer I've spoken to, they never answer the question because they know if they answer my question to put them on the spot, they reveal their inhumanity to animals. And I just asked you, why would you, what is it?
All right, so I think Joe's about to come in.
Starving because they couldn't...
there he is.
Beaver that you feel is less deserving of compassion than these dogs. Yes, help this person who participated in murdering
Stop verbally assaulting a woman in the street.
Pressing them in the corner. Hey, dude, where are we at? I talked to you, buddy. I talked to you, animal abuser.
Okay, it was really hard to hear because there's like dogs and people talking. So he goes, like basically, you're harassing a woman in the street, and then that's where he was walking and saying, you're a piece of shit. So before I go, because I have all kinds of thoughts on this as a prior vegan, and if we want to take the kind of ethical approach to it, but let me know what you're thinking first. And those in the chat, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of like at the point where I'm really glad that he did that. It's snowing outside. This lady, like, listen, I wouldn't wear fur. I'm not into the whole fur thing. I was vegetarian. You, of course, were vegan. And it's just one of those things where I just wish people just leave people alone. It's like he comes up there with the, taping it and filming it and trying to like harass this lady. And everybody is just really trying to just be like an asshole in this world. Like everybody just seems to go out of their way. So you feel
like because this person was recording, maybe there's this heightened kind of, they're
trying
to gotcha, and then they're gonna.
And she was talking to him, and she was trying to answer his questions, and he was just like still more attacky. And I would just like, I don't even know why the fuck you were talking. Oh, excuse me. I don't even know why Joe's got me all cursed up. I don't know why you would even talk to this guy and give this guy even, a minute of your time. He's obviously just some jerk that's looking for something for his social media. And I'm not even saying I disagree with the guy's, feelings on the fur or just the treatment of animals and stuff like that. And just like, what's different? Like, I get it. I'm not even like, there's a platform for that, and going and just harassing somebody in the snow, when they're cold, when they're whatever, I think it's just wrong. And I think there's this new, not new, but there's this trend that's going on in society where everybody just cannot wait to go bother somebody or catch them on a gotcha moment so they can put it on their post or feed or sell it to TMZ.
That's not new.
Whatever. That's
not new. Look, as a vegan of over 9 years, okay, my thing, I went vegan It actually had nothing to do with animals. It was all just health based. And then seeing a lot of improvements, which, just by way of like eliminating all the crap, you start feeling a lot better. I attributed it to the vegan lifestyle. So I stuck with it for a long time and I was promoting it. And through, just close association, right? Going to vegan festivals, being a part kind of the community. Yeah, of course, I really developed this like ethical obligation to animals for the first time in my life. I cared about animals. I feel like I was a sociopath beforehand. But in any case, that's all good, right? I'm really glad that all happened. But then for me to transition out of veganism and then to essentially become like a carnivore and then become keto and then, basically just trying everything to resolve really bad health issues that developed. Animals had nothing to do with any of that. I was just trying to get my life back together. So with that all being said, I definitely understand the mindset. I don't want to use the word you get brainwashed, but with anything, with any walk of life that you now subscribe to and your identity is connected with, you get that level of passion and anger attaches to it. So you see someone who would have the audacity to harm or participate in the harm in some kind of way of an animal, you really feel like it's your obligation to, judge and to let them know and to shame, people. And it's not just veganism, it's not just health stuff. So I think that I can totally understand where this person is coming from and that mindset, but I also don't think that that's cool. And even when I was vegan and I wasn't all about the meat and I wasn't all about that stuff, I never did anything like that. I never would even like go to someone's video and dislike it or leave an angry comment because I think angry people just do that.
I applaud Joe for going in, stepping up and shutting it down. I know that Joe is a huge animal lover himself, especially with his dogs. Like I know he has like tons of animals and, he probably even agrees with dude, but he doesn't agree.
Well, no, and that's why I got called out because he's supposed to be this animal lover. Now, I'll just say this, if you're curious to kind of, my backstory with the whole veganism thing and why I transition, I have a video on my Miss Krystle YouTube channel why I quit veganism after 9 years. So it explains all the things. But what's interesting is if you go to the comment section, of course, there's going to be positive stuff. There's people who are like, oh my gosh, like I'm so happy I found this because a lot of the physical health things that you're talking about are happening to me. I've been on the vegan diet forever and, perhaps it could be this. So happy you put this out. And then, of course, there are the haters and just, again, this kind of thing. Like, how could you? It doesn't matter if you're sick. It doesn't matter because you are hurting animals, just go die. So you have to understand and take all of this with a grain of salt. But at least to his credit, he's not just a keyboard warrior. He at least went up to her in person.
I've always gotten the impression that he's a huge animal lover and he probably even agrees with the guy's like thought on it, but it's just not okay to just go up to somebody and just harass them on the street. Just like, that's just where I'm kind of sitting with it.
All right. Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and not shame each other. Let's closely hold our beliefs and opinions because we are entitled to those, but let's not hate each other on the street.